to Leadership Meets Inner Self, where we explore the powerful synergy between authentic leadership, purposeful business strategies, and personal growth. I'm Plomena, your host, and I'm here to guide you on a journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Whether you're an entrepreneur, professional, or simply someone looking to align your inner self with impactful leadership, you're in the right place. Each week, we dive into thought-provoking discussions and offer actionable strategies to help you lead authentically and build legacy that truly reflects your purpose. Let's get started. What legacy do you want to leave behind? Welcome to today's episode of Leadership Meets Inner Self. Today, I'm excited to talk about a fresh approach to leadership, one that's rooted in collaboration, trust, and genuine connection. Think of it this way. It's not about standing at the top and giving orders. It's about engaging with everyone on the team in a way that feels connected, right? Imagine that shift where leadership doesn't just come from authority, but from shared trust and openness. If we want to create more engaged, resilient teams, it is essential to step into a new paradigm of leadership, one that values collaboration and trust. And that is exactly what we will dive into next. How to embrace this new approach in practice and the difference it can make for your team, yourself, and your business as a whole. Let's start first with what it takes to embrace this new approach. What does actually collaborative leadership really look like? At its heart, it's about building a foundation of trust, practicing openness, listening deeply, and yes, being vulnerable enough to empower others. This isn't just a standard management style, it's something deeper. Imagine a leadership style where instead of simply giving orders or making decisions alone, leaders foster an environment where everyone feels valued, heard, and engaged. Trust-centered leadership starts with openness. Leaders who practice openness are transparent about their decisions, goals, and even their mistakes. This openness builds trust. It signals to team members that they are part of the journey, not just followers. Trust also grows when leaders practice active listening. This means setting aside assumptions, genuinely hearing others out, and acknowledging their input, even if the final decision differs. Do you feel that openness and trust are foundational in your leadership? I will let you contemplate on that a bit. But meanwhile, let's continue. Let's take a look at what this actually looks like in a day-to-day setting. Now, let's see. Imagine a typical meeting led by a manager who controls every detail. Team members arrive, listen to directives, and take notes on what they need to do. Questions are minimal, and feedback isn't really encouraged. The team meeting ends, and everyone goes off to complete tasks without a sense of shared purpose or personal investment. In this kind of top-down approach, the focus is on efficiency and control, but it often leaves people feeling disconnected and unmotivated. Now picture a different kind of meeting. The leader starts by openly discussing the goals and challenges the team is facing. Team members are encouraged to share their ideas and even voice concerns. There's an exchange of thoughts. Everyone feels heard, and by the end, They live with a shared purpose and a sense of ownership over the outcomes. In such a collaborative approach, the focus is on trust and engagement, which often leads to more committed and creative team members. So, these are two scenarios that show just how different leadership styles can feel for the team, and how a collaborative approach can build a sense of connection and purpose. Think about a time you worked in a traditional top-down environment. Did you ever feel disconnected or unsure how your contributions fit into the bigger picture? Now imagine how things might have felt different if your ideas had been heard, or if you had a chance to shape the outcomes. How might that have changed your motivation and commitment to the work? Next, vulnerability comes into play. Collaborative leaders don't shy away from admitting when they don't have all the answers. Showing vulnerability doesn't weaken a leader's authority. In fact, it strengthens it, because it demonstrates courage and authenticity. This willingness to be vulnerable creates a safe space for others to share their challenges and ideas without fear of judgment. Collaborative leadership also actively empowers. Leaders who prioritize empowering others shift the focus from me to we. This way, they encourage team members to make decisions. They encourage them to take on new responsibilities and even lead in their own right. Empowerment isn't just a leadership technique. It's a powerful way to build loyalty and engagement, because when people feel genuinely valued and trusted, they are more likely to invest their time and energy not only in their work, but in the vision you are building together. Let me ask you, have you ever felt more committed to a project because you are truly valued and trusted? Now let's break down some key qualities of this style, shall we? First up, transparency. Think about this. When we are open about our decisions and the processes behind them, it builds trust naturally. Team members know there is nothing hidden, no hidden agendas. That transparency sets up a foundation of mutual respect that can carry you through any challenge. And guess what? It fosters creativity and the generation of new ideas, as well as spotting thinking gaps. These might be important things you may not have taken into consideration when you made this decision. How often do you let your team in on the process behind your decisions? Would they give me the same answer if I asked anonymously? It's really a self-reflection question for you. Then there's empathy. I think we can all agree that this is a big one, right? Collaborative leadership is about really tuning into what others are experiencing. It's about understanding and valuing their perspectives. And when people feel understood, they feel more connected, which creates a more supportive and engaged team. Have you noticed a difference in your team when you take a moment to really tune into their experiences? And finally, let's explore how shared goals play a role in this collaborative approach. When instead of focusing on individual accomplishments, you look at what the whole team can achieve together, you can create magic within your team. When we align around a shared purpose, everyone feels like they are contributing to something bigger. It's powerful, like glue for the team. It keeps everyone moving in the same direction, seeing how their work fits into the bigger picture. Think about this. How do you see your role in creating that sense of shared purpose? Take a moment to consider. How often do you find yourself nurturing that common vision within your team? It's not always easy, but when everyone feels connected to a common vision, it transforms the whole dynamic. So how do you get started with this kind of approach? Let me know your perspectives on this. I'm really curious and I'd love to hear what resonates with you most. But while you do that, here are a few ideas from my side. Start small. You don't have to overhaul everything at once. Try weekly open dialogue sessions. These can be short, but they are very powerful. Give everyone a chance to share their thoughts, get their input, and let them feel heard. I'm curious, do you think your team would benefit from having a regular space to openly share ideas? However, don't expect full engagement right away, because some people may need time to warm up to the idea to contribute more directly or to just dare to speak up. So, give it a bit of time for these sessions to become a safe space for expression of opinions. Not everyone is an extrovert, but everyone has a great idea at least once in a while. Don't dismiss ideas that seem ridiculous at first, because by doing so, you risk disrespecting the people who offer them. And next time, when they do have a good idea, they may just keep it to themselves. Better learn to communicate in a firm but respectful way. So here I'm asking for myself, or maybe not only for myself. How often do we give respect to even the smallest ideas? Even the ones that seem way off at first glance. The truth is, bad ideas are often the needed seed for passionate and productive discussions. They help bring people back to a shared perspective by revealing why this might not be the right approach. Have you ever seen a so-called bad idea lead to an unexpected breakthrough? Don't look at things as simply good or bad. Think of them as points on a spectrum of positive and negative. It's like the hot and cold game kids play. One person hides an object and the other tries to find it with hints like hot when they are close and cold when they are far. Using a so-called bad idea to guide people in the right direction works in a similar way. A bad idea doesn't mean someone is generally off track or lacking insight. It just signals they might need a bit more guidance or a chance to recalibrate. So, next time you encounter a bad idea, try to see it as a potential stepping stone rather than a dead end. Another way to create a collaborative space is by inviting feedback regularly. Find multiple ways for people to share what is on their minds, whether it's through feedback forums, team building activities, or open group sessions or discussions. It's all about creating spaces where everyone's input matters. And finally, encourage team building activities. But be careful. These don't have to be anything big, and they don't have to take up your team members' personal time. A shared lunch or a brainstorming session can go a long way. They are simple ways to break down barriers, build a connection, and remind everyone that they are part of a team, working towards something together. Remember, fostering a culture of openness and collaboration is an ongoing journey. Each small step you take brings you closer to building a thriving and resilient team environment. As we build trust-centered relationships with others, it's easy to overlook that the most important relationship we need to nurture first is the one with ourselves. Collaborative leadership doesn't just happen by adopting new practices. It starts within, by leading ourselves with authenticity and purpose. Now, why is this so important? Why can't we simply choose to act as collaborative leaders by following a set of learned rules and techniques? Well, you can actually. Many leaders do just that. They see this approach as a tactic, something learned to give their teams a sense of empowerment and belonging, ultimately to improve performance. They dive into teachings on negotiation and psychological manipulation, strategically implementing steps to get better results from their people. Does it work? Yes, Absolutely. But is it sustainable? Not really, for two main reasons. First, over time, people are not naive enough to believe that what's happening is real, if something feels even slightly off. Yes, there's a feeling we get, a gut sense when something doesn't sit right. Even if everything looks perfect on the surface, if it doesn't feel genuine, the mind quickly picks up on it. And once people start feeling that dissonance, good luck trying to convince them otherwise. Second, if a leader doesn't truly feel that this is the approach they want to use daily and genuinely connect with their team, then maintaining it over time becomes exhausting. When behaviors feel unnatural, frustration, annoyance, or even anger build up. No matter how good an actor the leader might be, or how detached they are from others' needs. We all have an ego, and its job is to protect our natural self-expression in ways it believes are right for us. So this means if a leader's ego perceives that empowering their team might threaten their own success, it will keep pushing back against the conscious decisions to lead this way, regardless of results. Eventually, the leader will snap. They might suddenly change behavior, let the team down, or even jeopardize all the progress made. Or they may drive themselves toward burnout by trying to uphold an approach they haven't yet fully embodied. What leaders must understand is that it's not just their team members who need a safe space to express. The leader needs to create that safe space for themselves first, and then allow others to contribute to it. This approach lets the leader expand their work and impact, rather than diminishing themselves by trying to fit into a mold designed to please everyone else. The future isn't about me or them. It's about us, a collective where everyone's voice matters. And this is something that team members should also understand and accept. For leaders to truly succeed and guide others, they need inner clarity about who they are and what they stand for. They must understand how their personal sense of purpose aligns with their vision for leading others. You might think that most leaders already have this clarity, but you'd be shocked at how often this is not the case. And there's no shame in it. Gaining clarity and aligning with your true self doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey, a process that requires deep inner work. But here's the reality. Most people push inner work aside, acting as though it's less important than the business at hand. Why? Well, often because of the subconscious fears about what they might uncover. Because, let's be honest here, inner work is rarely easy or pretty, and it can be highly uncomfortable. So they think, why bother? If I can get by for now, then simply hope the approach is sustainable. If things start falling apart, I'll deal with it then. It's fine. It won't happen to me. These kind of things only happen to others, right? Think about it like this. To show up fully for others, we first need to show up fully for ourselves. This is where self-leadership comes in. Self-leadership is about guiding your own actions and mindset based on your core values, leading from a place of clarity and purpose. Imagine the power of showing up each day as your true self and the impact that has on everyone around you. Now, let's talk about a few ways to start building self-leadership and self-mastery. First of all, start small and simple. Try to set the intentions to make this journey as fun and joyful as possible. Because the whole process of realigning with your true self and embodying your authentic expression can be really intense and tough at times. It will rock the boat and rattle not just your feathers, but also those of the people you are connected to, who are used to deal with a version of you that is about to become different. And I don't want to lie to you. Some relationships will cease to exist, and some of those might be with people you cherish and want to keep in your life. Being yourself takes a lot of bravery. It can take a lot from you, but also give you so much more. Try to always keep in mind, you deserve to express yourself in the world the way you truly are. Otherwise, it's not really you, is it? And it's not really you who is living your life, is it? So, start small, with daily reflection. Just set aside a few minutes each day to reflect on your interactions and how all you've been through made you feel. Ask yourself where self-leadership showed up or where it could improve. Were there moments when you felt in sync with your values? Or moments when you felt out of alignment? This small daily practice of reflection builds powerful awareness over time. It helps you recognize patterns and areas where you might want to grow. At the end, make sure to show yourself some gratitude for the fact that you unapologetically took 5 minutes just for you, even if it was while showering. Another important part of self-mastery is identifying your triggers, the moments that make you feel like you need to control a situation or react defensively. When you start recognizing these triggers, you can explore the deeper insecurities or fears that might be driving them. Next time you feel the urge to control, take a step back and ask yourself, what's really driving this feeling? Is it fear? Is it a need for certainty? Is it maybe something else? Are you really that mad about this particular thing? Why? Did it hurt your plans for success? And what if you don't succeed in this particular thing? What is the reason you are going to feel bad about it? Try the simple question, so what? And check how deep into your reasons can you go, but keep on asking it after each answer you give to yourself. Catching yourself in these moments is often the first step to building greater self-mastery. Consider keeping a journal for a week, noting moments when you felt that urge to control. It doesn't need to be a notebook and to take much of your time. You can use your phone and make a few seconds voice memo recording after specific triggering moments. The point is, observe what patterns do you notice and how might you start responding differently. Building self-leadership and self-mastery doesn't happen overnight, but each small step brings you closer to being a leader who truly leads from within. Think of it as developing a muscle. It grows with small, steady efforts. Each day you reflect and work on self-mastery. You're creating a stronger foundation for the kind of leader you want to be. And as you strengthen this foundation, it will not just impact you. It will influence every relationship you have. When we transform our relationship with ourselves, we unlock the potential for more meaningful and transformative relationships with others. In fact, that inner clarity and self-mastery become the bedrock for creating a culture where others feel empowered to do the same. This is where trust-centered leadership comes into play. When we lead from a place of authenticity and purpose, we naturally begin to foster a space where trust and transparency thrive, not as a tactic, but as a genuine extension of who we are. Now that we've established the importance of leading ourselves with authenticity, let's look at how this approach impacts team dynamics in a powerful way. Let's first talk about what happens when leaders create that kind of culture, one where trust and transparency form the core. When leaders genuinely foster these qualities, they are doing more than just leading. They are creating a space of psychological safety. What do I mean by psychological safety? Is that sense within a team that people are valued, heard, and understood. It's the feeling that no matter what, you have the freedom to share your ideas, ask questions, and even make mistakes without fear of judgment. Imagine a team where everyone feels safe enough to speak openly. How much more likely are people to contribute their best ideas, even the ones that might feel risky or out of the box? This is the power of trust-centered leadership. It builds a foundation where everyone feels secure enough to show up authentically and take those creative risks. And when people feel safe, they become naturally more engaged, more open, and more willing to collaborate because they know they are respected for who they are and what they bring to the table. Think of the shift in team dynamics when a leader adopts this approach. You'll notice people becoming more proactive, more invested in what they are working on, and much more open with each other. Conversations start to flow more easily, and the barriers that typically keep people from sharing ideas or concerns begin to dissolve. Team members start bringing forward ideas that might otherwise have been hidden. They are willing to go beyond their comfort zones because they feel they are in a safe environment. And that's where real innovation and growth begin. So, what's the outcome of this new paradigm? When a leader prioritizes trust and psychological safety, it leads to some remarkable changes. First, there's increased team collaboration. When people feel safe and supported, they are more likely to reach out to one another, offer help, ask for help, and collaborate without hesitation. There's a natural shift from I to we. Then we see higher employee satisfaction and retention. People want to stay where they feel respected and valued, when they know their voices matter and their contributions are recognized. It creates a sense of loyalty and fulfillment that's hard to find in many work environments. Then we see teams with members who are more naturally aligned. In environments grounded in trust and shared values, it becomes easier to spot when a team member might not be the right fit for the company. If someone does not resonate with the team's core values, it often becomes clear fairly quickly. This creates two beneficial outcomes. First, it allows leaders to recognize this misalignment early on, making it easier to either relocate the individual to a more suitable role or, if necessary, part ways. Second, the individual themselves is likely to feel that they are not in the right place. When they sense that their values do not match those of the team, they are more likely to make the decisions to move on before they or the company have invested further in a relationship that ultimately may not serve either side. The result is mutually beneficial, good for the individual and good for the business. And lastly, this approach creates a more resilient, adaptable team culture. When a team feels safe and connected, they are more capable of handling change. They are more capable of handling challenges and uncertainty together. There's a collective strength that makes them more adaptable because they trust each other and they trust their leader. So, as you're thinking about your own team dynamics, ask yourself, what would it look like to create that kind of psychological safety? How would your team respond if they knew they had the freedom to show up without fear, to share ideas, and to even make mistakes without judgment? This is the heart of trust-centered leadership. And it's the foundation for creating a team that's not just effective, but genuinely connected and committed to a shared purpose. As usual, there are many paths to a certain goal, but I will give you some of mine. Here are a few steps you can start implementing today to bring this collaborative and trust-centered style into practice. First, begin with self-reflection. Take some time to evaluate your current leadership style. Think about where you might introduce more openness and foster trust. Are there areas where you might share more transparently or listen more actively? Reflect on how your actions align with your core values and where there might be room for growth. Next, create a trust-centered plan with clear goals for fostering trust. Set specific intentions, such as increasing transparency in your communications or encouraging more team input in decision-making. Perhaps you could start by sharing more about the decision-making process. Think of specific small actions you can take, like encouraging feedback in decision-making. Remember, small, consistent actions can make a significant impact over time. Also, invite open communications. Encourage regular check-ins where team members feel safe sharing their ideas and concerns. Make it clear that their voices are valued and that their contributions matter. And not just state it, but really mean it. You might establish open-door policies or set aside time during meetings for open dialogue. The goal here is to build a sense of safety and trust where people know they can show up authentically. These steps may seem small, but they lay the foundation for a culture where trust and collaboration become second nature. By taking deliberate actions to foster trust and openness, you set the stage for a more engaged and resilient team. As we wrap up this exploration of trust-centered leadership, I want to share something that struck me recently. I came across a post where someone shared that a manager told them, "If you think you matter to me or the company, you are mistaken." The person was asking, if leaders don't care about their team, how can their team care about them? This brings us back to the core of authentic leadership and raises some powerful questions. How can you care about a team that doesn't align with your values and vision? How can a team care about you if they sense you are not authentic or if they do not share your values? How can you build a team that shares your values and vision if these do not first come authentically from you? If what you are portraying does not align with your core self? If the success you are chasing does not naturally align with your true personality, aspirations, values, and purpose in life? To build a team that truly cares and works with you, those values need to come from a place of genuine alignment with your core self. Ask yourself, how closely does the success I'm striving for align with my true personality, my authentic aspirations, my values, and my purpose in life? When we lead from a place of real connection to ourselves, our vision and our values resonate naturally with our team. This way, they create a foundation for meaningful relationships and transformative leadership. So, as we wrap up today, I encourage you to reflect on one small change you could make today to bring more trust, openness, and authenticity into your leadership. How can you align more closely with your true self to create a more authentic connection with your team? Remember, leadership starts from within, and your authenticity sets the tone for your entire team. Before I go, I have an exciting announcement to share with you. Starting this Friday, November 22nd, I'm launching the Refine, Align, Lead, Elevate Your Leadership in 40 Days challenge. This transformative experience is designed to help you refine your self-leadership, align with your core values, and elevate your leadership approach to an entirely new level. Here's the best part. It's currently free for all insiders on my private email list. This exclusive challenge features private podcast episodes available only to participants. Each episode is short and impactful, requiring just about 10 minutes of your time daily. That's it. You can listen while driving, walking, or even during your daily routine. This round of the challenge is free, but access is limited, and it's likely that future rounds will be paid. So, this is your chance to join the journey and experience the transformation firsthand. Sign up now by visiting PlamCore.com, subscribe to my email list, and secure your spot today. I can't wait to see you on the inside. Thank you for joining me in this episode. Join me for the next episode where we'll explore how to balance empathy with authority, an essential skill in building meaningful connections and lasting impact. Until next time, and remember to follow PlamCore for more insights on embracing authentic leadership and creating meaningful change. Thank you for tuning in to Leadership Meets Inner Self. If you're ready to take your leadership journey to the next level, make sure to visit our website at PlamCore.com. Subscribe to our email list for exclusive insider offers and updates. By joining, you'll get access to special resources, early announcements, and much more. Also, let's stay connected. Follow us on social media for daily inspiration and updates. Remember, leadership starts from within, and your authenticity sets the tone for your success. Until next time. Like and subscribe.